Are boxers getting paid what they're worth? Watch this video. Hello, welcome to Omni Edson. I hope you're all well. So just ahead of an amazing weekend of boxing, I wanted to make a video about boxers and are they getting paid what they're worth. Now, if you consider the big fights, of course, they're getting paid millions, right? The AJs of this world, the Tyson Fury's, Usyks of this world, they're getting paid millions. But as you come down the pecking order, especially in the lower weight divisions, then you get less and less and less money. And then especially if you're building up your career, you're not getting paid thousands or hundreds of thousands of pounds, dollars or shekels for your first fight. No, you're getting paid just a few pounds or whatever it is. In fact, you have to sell your own tickets. And we've seen it, that more and more high profile boxers as they're coming up the ranks, yeah, they're really working hard to sell tickets and build up their own fan base. Then you go out to male boxing, you go into female boxing, and it's even more so. But why is that? Now, I've been reading quite a few articles on gender pay caps and all that kind of stuff. And as far as I can tell, now, okay, you might say this is a bloke saying it, so maybe I'm biased. But as far as I can tell, that there hasn't really been a great market for female boxing in terms of a commercial sense for quite a few years. Now, obviously, in recent years, it has started to build up and money has started to come into female boxing. Therefore, their purses have got better and better. But yes, granted, it's still not as much as a male boxing, but it is getting better. So if you're talking to the likes of Amanda Serrano, for example, yeah, they're getting paid big money now, or much bigger money. Is it on par with a male fighter? No. But again, we've got to talk about the commercial viability of this. How many pay-per-views are they selling just on their fights alone? How many people are they going to get into an arena just on those fights alone? Well, if you're talking the likes of Amanda Serrano and others of that stature, then yeah, they're going to be able to fill arenas now. But many years ago, they wouldn't. Even the top level fighters, they wouldn't. So it always comes down to the economics, and it always comes down to how many tickets they're going to sell and how many pay-per-views they're going to sell. That's why there's a disparity between male and female sports. It's always been there. And it's got nothing to do with gender or a bias against women. It's purely an economics thing. In fact, if you think about it, most people who watch sport are men. It's a male-driven industry. It kind of ties in with a male psyche to want to see that challenge, to be challenging each other and to want to see that challenge. Whereas the female psyche is less so. I'm not saying it's not there, but it's less so. So you would imagine that for female sports, there should be a much bigger female crowd watching that, but there isn't. That's the problem. There isn't. In certain sports, let's say women's football, soccer, for example, or basketball, yeah, you'd still get many more females watching it, or ladies or girls watching it, of course, especially in soccer, right? It become a big sport. But it still flags behind. Commercially, it's still not as viable as the male sports. Let's face it, male sports have been doing this for a lot longer and a lot bigger for a lot longer as well. Now, I'm not going to say that one is more valid than the other. All I'm saying, there is a commercial reason here. I was just reading a very interesting article on the BBC Sport website, the Sport Insight, where it basically says, I gave everything to boxing and still have nothing. And this is the Heather Hardy story of the American boxer who basically had to hang up her gloves, and she's struggling sort of financially. And then the article goes on to this gender pay gap and why is there a difference and all that. It's a really interesting story, but it kind of shows that at all levels, at male boxing and female boxing, if you're not hitting those dizzy heights of those high earning fights, then you go through a whole career of high profile fights, having 40, 50 fights, and at the end of it, you haven't got a pot to piss in. That's the issue here. So it's less about what you're actually getting paid, it's what you can retain. There's been quite a few illustrations of this, of fighters getting a purse, let's say of $100,000, and they walk away with about $10,000 because after you've paid everything, the promoters are taking their bit, the coaches and the management are taking that, and all these other expenses and you had to pay for. Once you take away that, you've only got about 10,000 left. In some cases, even less than that. It's only when you get into the millions, that's when you can start retaining quite a lot of it, unless you're savvy. And one of the problems here for boxers especially is, who are they surrounding themselves with? Are there people who have got their best interests at heart all the time? Now, this could be family members, this could be external managers, whatever. This could be money men. It could be that people, especially if they start getting popular, especially if they get famous and successful, then it's always going to be people who are going to want to take that money away from you, or just want to jump on that gravy train and, you know, have a little bit for themselves. It happens all the time. This is not an accusation. This happens all the time. And this is where boxers, especially male and female, they can end up in poverty in later life because they've lost everything, or they haven't been able to retain everything. Now, coming off the back of Chris Eubanks' rant against promoters and everything like that, whether you like Chris Eubank or not, there is kind of a lot of truth in what he's saying. And there's also a lot of history of many boxers falling out with promoters and managers and, you know, not getting paid what they're supposed to be getting paid. Or in some cases, not even getting paid at all. Promoters just pull out and say, we're not paying you anymore. And then you're wondering, well, I've just put my life on the line here. And then all of a sudden, I'm not getting paid. So for me, in the modern boxing world, in the modern combat sports world, boxers especially have to grip this by themselves. They have to get hold of this and promote themselves a lot more and become the brand a lot more. Other people are saying it as well. You take other sports and how sports people are becoming brands in their own right. This is what boxers definitely have to do. They have to protect themselves, but they definitely have to have good people around them who have their own interests at heart and who know that whatever they earn, they have to be investing that straight away in safe investments, not risky investments, but safe investments. Let's say like bricks and mortar, right? Everybody's going to need bricks and mortar. That kind of thing. Not some fly-by-night investment. Oh, come and invest in my mosquito farm or whatever it is. No. You know, you need proper investment, but you need people there who don't want to get paid, who don't want to live off the gravy train. They just want to help you. Now, usually you would say you would turn to family, but sometimes family isn't the answer, right? You need somebody who's going to take care of you. And that isn't always possible. This is where I would always urge boxers to independently seek out people who are going to have your best interests at heart, or be vehement in how you take care of your own affairs, and you develop a business brain very, very quickly, because that's the only way you're going to be able to survive, and that's the only way you're going to be able to secure your future. Let's face it, you're getting punched in the head, and especially in your early part of your career, you're not getting paid a lot of money. In fact, you may not even be getting paid at all. So you've got to be very calculated here in how you develop through your career. It's no good getting to the end of your career and say, I didn't get paid here, I didn't do this, they stiffed me here. You know, there's a gender pay gap and all this kind of stuff. Whereas actually, you know what you're getting into. You know you're getting into boxing to hopefully get paid. So you've got to take care of your own affairs. Now, of course, when we talk of gender pay gaps, yes, it is getting better. But it always comes down to this, what boxers have got to understand, or all sportsmen, everybody in this world, whether you're a sportsman or not, everything is a business. There is a balance sheet here. You've got to have money coming in, enough money to pay for all your outgoings. If you don't have enough money coming in, you're not going to be able to pay your outgoings. And if that happens too often, then you're never going to be able to pay those outgoings, and you end up going bankrupt. That's why boxers have got to be ultra aware of not only their brand, their identity, and different income streams, revenue streams that they can generate, but also they've got to understand the business. Now, if you look at many boxers, younger fighters coming up, or in the MMA world as well, they're starting to do that. More and more are starting to take control of their own identities, of their own careers, especially if the way that they increase their popularity and generate extra income streams as well. Because if you're just relying on boxing or combat sports in your initial part of the career, you could easily come away with absolutely nothing. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, well, just keep on watching the videos, and I'll catch you again in another video coming very soon. Bye now.